Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show, your daily fix of football chat here on STV. The main talking points tonight: the SPFL reveal the date for the start of next season. St Johnstone have three major injury worries ahead of their League Cup semi-final at the weekend. It's Morton against Rangers tonight in the Championship, and we'll also look back over the weekend results and get the thoughts of Alan Rough and our bookroom guest as ever on a Monday night, Gordon Smith. So August the 6th is when the SPFL Premiership will start off next season, Ruffy, and I think that will be after quite a long group of games in the League Cup.
Yeah, I think it gives the supporters a wee bit of excitement. We keep talking about summer football. That takes us a wee bit near it, you know, the middle of July. I'm sure the players as well will look forward to that, you know, to get the pre-season in and then play meaningful games rather than some of the friendlies that they've been playing. But yeah, I'm happy with that. And
it will also take in next season the winter break for the Premiership clubs, Gordon.
Yeah, 2 weeks, not exactly much of a winter break if you ask me. I actually do think that I would rather see the Premier League start in July. Earlier on in July, the League Cup left the way it was, just as matches rather than group sections, so that we could have a proper winter break. Because I just think 2 weeks is not enough. I think in Scotland we should have a longer break than that. So I believe the league was going to start then, because to be honest with you, they couldn't start it before that because of the League Cup sections, which does have teams playing 4 games each in that period, sort of thing. So, but that's how I would change it about if I had any say in it.
Yeah, okay, I'm sure there are some who like it, some who don't, but it's there, it's set in stone for the moment. Whether there's an extension roughly to the overall league in the summer is another thing. That would create one heck of a headache.
Yeah, it certainly will, but I think the League Cup will be a trial period to see how the clubs like it and then move forward to be part of a bigger picture. But I hope, I don't know if the Cup final has been scheduled. I hope it's not next year. I hope it's pretty soon for the League Cup. I hope they get it done and dusted and there's a trophy on offer for whoever wants to win it.
Well, one way of leaving the League Cup in that manner, if that works out okay, would be to actually convert the league to a 16-team league, and then you've got 30 league games instead of 38, and then you can start in August and still incorporate a winter break, a proper winter break.
Yeah. There's a League Cup semi-final on the Saturday this weekend, and then on the Sunday as well. It's Ross County against Celtic on the Sunday, and of course St Johnstone looking to try and make it to the League Cup final on the Saturday against Hibernian, and they've got 3 major injury worries, Ruffy: Dave Mackay, Chris Miller, and also Murray Davidson.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to say Halloran and McLean there, but unfortunately not. Yeah, they're big players. They're not the match winners, but certainly they're massive players for the club, and they will be sadly missed. But they've got a while to go. Yeah, I see. I was reading there's a bit of problem with the spectators, the supporters, where they're going to be in the stand and trying to move them out. And I think St Johnstone wanting another 500 and security saying no, it can't be done. So I hope they get that sorted out, because when you get to a semi-final, you want to try and get as many supporters in as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course you mentioned there 2 players, just for the benefit of anyone who's maybe from another planet and wondering if Ruffy has sacrificed his impartiality. The answer is emphatically yes. He wants St Johnstone's 2 best players out of the side so Hibs can make the final, Gordon. But O'Halloran, okay, they were on the losing end of the match against Celtic at the weekend, but O'Halloran set the goal up beautifully.
Yes, and another 2 or 3 good runs as well, Peter. I think he looks a player with real pace, and that's why obviously Rangers have an interest in him, but other teams might have an interest in him too, because he's definitely somebody that can turn a game around, pace, can set up chances. And the fact is that I saw him earlier in the season in the game against Rangers, and Rangers couldn't cope with him in the League Cup tie they had at Ibrox. So he'll certainly be the threat to Hibs. And I would imagine that if anybody thinks there's going to be a deal this week, it would be crazy. St Johnstone, they want to know whether it'll be a big factor is whether they're in the final or not in the final, whether they want O'Halloran, because if they were to sell him prior to the semi-final, they would get a lot of stick for that. And if they even win the semi-final and sell them before the winter break's over, they're going to get punished for that too. But their fans, aren't they? Their fans are going to be raging about it when they're in a final and they've got a top-class player like that. The one player maybe who on Saturday caused Celtic a lot of problems, and you let them go. So I think it will depend on how that game goes on Saturday.
Yeah, there are two elements to that though, Ruffy. The only reason they would let them go is if they got a sufficient amount of money that satisfied them. And I think also money at the right time. As Gordon says, you sell him, never mind the League Cup semi-final, sell him before that transfer window gives you enough time to get a replacement.
Certainly does that. I thought the game at the weekend there against Celtic, and Gordon's touched on it, I thought he might have sort of highlighted to Celtic that this is a reasonable player at reasonable money for Celtic. If they're buying up relatively young players, they keep bringing in people from abroad and having a trial and sending them away. This is a player that they know what he can do, and 400,000 would be nothing to Celtic to add another quality player in.
Strange that you say that. I have to say, I just think they've got so many players, especially middle. I'm sure that a striker might be a priority to them.
But do you think wide, Peter? I think he's a wide player. I think he's somebody with pace that gets to the byline and puts quality balls in. They've got James Forrest.
Yeah.
I think if for that kind of money, he'd be good to have there.
Yeah.
In a different style.
They've got Forrest, they've got Mackay Stevens, who got 2 goals on Saturday and was outstanding. You've got Armstrong plays on the left-hand side of it. You've got other players, Johansson for midfield. You've got McGregor's a good player. I think he's doing well. He's played wide before too.
Yep.
And then you've got a scenario, Ruffy, where you've got players that are on the verge of coming into the club. You've got Scott Allen's there, and you've got Christie, who basically aren't in the first team squad team yet as such. Brown's out injured and all that, so it just depends how many players they want. But I know what you're saying. They would. He is a player who could play for Celtic, but do they need any more players?
Yeah, but the other aspect as well, it'd be a good noise up.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, I knew you were going to throw that in, by the way, because quite simply a lot of people would see it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, just on the flip side of what Ruffy's saying, I don't want to jump into what he's suggesting, but on the flip side of it, Rangers, I think, have got a big statement to make before this window closes, because a lot of Rangers fans are looking and say, wait a minute, you've had 2 targets, where are the other targets? Where are the other possible signings to bolster? When Hibs have responded, they brought in 5 players.
Yeah, I think that maybe to a certain degree, Mark Warburton's saying, well, the squad, he's improved the squad as it is, he's got enough players, but he definitely made it very clear there are targets, and if he doesn't get those targets, and it's because of they're not offering the money, that's going to annoy the Rangers fans without doubt, because they're seeing it as saying, we need a bit of strength coming in here, we need just a bit of an uplift, because you get a boost from it, because you're right, because what the other part about it, Peter, I've spoken about before, is if Hibs suddenly get on a run and actually then overtake Rangers at this stage and become the champions, Rangers are going to get highly criticised for the fact that they have not spent this money in the January window. So I think they will be looking to get somebody in before the end of this week. But I don't think Harlan will certainly be a signing before the semi-final. I just can't see St Johnstone selling before Saturday.
Yeah, and of course it's Morton against Rangers. Can you see any slip-ups tonight, Ruffy?
Yeah, I always think, and I know it sounds crazy, I always think midweek games fling up surprises when it's on a Saturday afternoon or whatever. The prediction usually comes true, but I think when you play midweek games, I don't know what it is, but certainly going down there to Capello is a hard place to go at the best of time. But Rangers won quite comfortably there the last time. But I think Morton probably have improved since then. So
yeah. Well, the interesting thing was.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
I expect Rangers to win narrowly. Okay, that's what you were looking for.
I mean, honestly, can you not see through him now? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of padding, says nothing, and then wants you to move on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, do you think there's going to be a problem? No.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Morton's last 4 games, it's 2 defeats and 2 draws. They were in a little bit of a run, they got up there, but I think that Rangers did win comfortably. I know he says hard place to go, but they went down there and won very well, won 4-0. The home game was a bit more of a problem, because you're right, they drew 2 each at home, and Morton did well in the day, but Rangers should have done better. I mean, they did have chances and didn't take them. So I think, I can't see with Hibs getting players in and Rangers at the kind of form they're in just now, I can only see a Rangers win.
Yeah, we're going to talk Hearts and Hibs in the next part of the programme, Ruffy, but just briefly when we were touching on Celtic there, do you know, it's a huge week for them. They've got Ross County, then after that it's Aberdeen and East Kilbride. I mean, no disrespect to East Kilbride, but that's probably the least of their worries. These next two games are huge.
Yeah, but they're certainly scoring goals, and they'll feel confident that they could win these games. They're getting into the game positively. They've got obviously more players available, and I think they should win both of them.
Yep, and they're confident that they're going to try and win the treble, Gordon, and not a treble.
Yes, we need to make that very clear. We had that good discussion on Saturday. It is the treble when you're winning the Premier League, not when you're winning the Championship. That would be a treble that Hibs can play for, but Celtic are the only ones that can win the treble.
Yes, I just wanted to clarify that for Murdo McLeod. Just didn't seem to get it on Saturday. I think he's got it now. Coming up after the break, we'll discuss Hearts. Are they a dirty team? And of course, we had the thoughts of Alan Stubbs on Hibs. We'll get Ruffy's thoughts coming up next. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Alan Ruff is alongside me. Peter Martin, our boot room guest on a Monday as ever, is Gordon Smith, and delighted to have him here with us. Wasn't a classic yesterday between Hamilton and Hearts. Don't think it's going to be released on DVD as a little stocking filler anytime soon, Ruffy. But there was a wee suggestion that Hearts have got this tag as being a dirty team. It was... on the back of the red card yesterday, I think that's where it's emerged again. But I don't see them that way, do you?
No, I think it was frustration more than anything yesterday. Hamilton, quite rightly, rolled their sleeves up and got in about them, so to speak, and they didn't give them a minute. They were, as a good Hamilton side does, they hunted in packs and any time, but any of the Hearts midfield players got them. There was 2 or 3 round about them, biting at their heels, and I think the Hearts were getting really frustrated by the whole day. I don't think there was any good football in it at all, a lot of stray passes. But again, I think Hamilton, it was just about trying to react from the bad result they had against Celtic.
Yeah, and of the 2 red cards, Gordon, I don't think you can have any argument with either of them. Rossi, double-footed challenge.
Yeah, definitely a red card, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he tried to pretend, I think, that he was injured. I think he realised, having made the challenge, that I'm in trouble here. If I pretend I'm injured, I might get away with it, but he didn't get away with it. And the other challenge was the same. I think that, you know, Tennant was had to be one of those ones. He just went right through the player, just very aggressive, you know. So I haven't seen Hearts. You're talking about them. I haven't seen them as a dirty team at all. I think now and again you get 1 or 2 players make well challenges, I think, but in general their play, I don't see them being a dirty team. And I felt even yesterday they could have won the game. I think they should have the game tied up late on. They were a bit disappointed, Peter, they didn't get the 3 points, because in the latter part of the game they had the best chances, and even with 10 men they were never out of the match at all. They were probably more possession than Hamilton had.
Yeah, and usually if you've got a team that's got a reputation for being a dirty team, Ruffy, you can usually highlight 1 or 2 individuals who are handing it out, but I think they've got a lot of good footballers on their side. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have really caught the attention.
There's a lot of guys in the team want to play football.
Yeah.
You know, you can see they've got a good touch. You know, they want to interact with each other. They want to get the ball wide. They want to get in the box. So no, I don't see it at all. You know, there might be a situation where the frustration, you know, of the ambitions that they want to reach. You know, trying to challenge Aberdeen, things aren't going their well. You know, sometimes that mentality as well. It's not going well for us. So just wee silly tackles happen.
Yeah, and I've got to at this point just say to you, Ruffy, that you still over the last couple of weeks have mentioned the fact that you think Dundee United can get out of it. It was an unbelievable scoreline from the weekend, and it makes, you know, Kilmarnock's next match oh so important.
Yeah, it certainly does, and we spoke about the big players for Dundee United, and I thought John Rankin was superb. I thought he capitalised that with the goal that he scored, and other players as well. The boy Spittle's goals were quality. He definitely looks like one for the future, but for them it's all about confidence. It's all about believing that if we can beat Kilmarnock 5-1 the next game, surely we can do better, and they have to do better in every game. They can't let it slip up.
Yeah. The funny thing about Kilmarnock, Peter, is you know, that even every time almost they've had one of these kind of score lines, they have improved after it. I think they've either had a draw or a win the next game or whatever.
Well, they're at home to Hamilton. I mean, this one has got the potential for blood, guts and thunder as well, because there's so much at stake.
Absolutely, so much at stake. As I say, we spoke about a lot on Saturday. Dundee United needed a win and they got it. Kilmarnock are the nearest team to them. Hamilton got the point, so Killie are second bottom. The thing about they need is they can't do anything about it next week. I mean, Dundee need to go to Partick Thistle on the weekend, and while they're going there, and that'll be a hard game for them, Kilmarnock or Hamilton will be picking up points, one of them or the other. So that's the difficulty Dundee need to have. The teams down beside them will be able to pick up points at times when they're having their games, and it's all very well. They need to keep winning.
Yeah.
Dundee United need to keep winning and hope. But in that game on Saturday, with Hamilton and Killie, it's not going to be a case of that Dundee United can be actually better off than any of the two of them, because there's going to be points either shared or one of them's going to get 3 points.
Yeah. Just a couple of other little points before I get your thoughts on who's going to progress in the League Cup, Gordon, in the semi-finals to the final itself. I did mention to you guys at the weekend, I mean, we think we've got it bad over here. I don't know if you managed to catch the friendly between River Plate and Boca Juniors, Ruffy. It turned into a full scaler.
Yeah, and we saw it before over there. We talk about temperament and people losing their head. That's the place to be if you want to see anything like that. And it's just, as a referee, which one do you get? There's that many of them all having a go at each other. So I hope he looks at the video evidence when he's doing his report. Yeah,
well, I was going to say to you, Gordon, having been on countless committees, don't go through them all. 5 red cards.
Yeah.
If that game had been played in Scotland, we would have had an independent inquiry, politicians involved, and then some other laws brought into effect.
Well, the thing about it was, it's quite funny, Peter, because you even spoke about what it was going to be like in advance of the game. So you actually predicted what we're going to get, and we got it, and it's unbelievable. I mean, it just seems to be, I don't know whether they just think that's what makes the football over there or whatever, brings that level of excitement and emotion that the fans all love and the public love and all that. We would kick more of a fuss up about it here, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, it's made it worldwide news, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a paper picked up a story that I think it was a segment of the crowd never saw the first 15 minutes of the game because of one of the big flags they had to be rolled up, and it took 15 minutes to roll, so they missed the first 15 minutes of the game because it went from top to bottom of the stand.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be too happy myself. Just on the point of one of your former clubs, Ruffy, we had a chat with Alan Stubbs at the weekend after that win over St Mirren. They've reduced the gap to 2 points, depending, of course, on what happens between Morton and Rangers. But he's also made another signing in Otso Virtanen, 21-year-old goalkeeper.
Yeah, but I thought Oxley had done well. Better improved from last year, because that's obviously he's in a better settled back four. But certainly they obviously see something in this guy. I don't think there was any money involved at all. So yeah, it's always to have good backup in case something happens to him.
Yep. Now he's got 5 players in. He said to us at the weekend he would have been more than happy if he didn't get an additional one.
Yeah.
He's got that one in now. I think Alan Stubbs has looked at his squad and said, OK, this is it. It's now about the title push. And of course, there is a game that Rangers will be involved in the weekend that, maybe Alan Stubbs is viewing it as a potential slip-up.
Well, that's right. I mean, they got Morton tonight and then Falkirk at the weekend, at home to Falkirk, to be fair. But Alan Stubbs is looking at it, because I looked at Rangers' next 5 games, funnily enough, in the league. 4 of them are away from home. So Alan Stubbs may be looking at that situation thinking, OK, we don't play Rangers till March, but they've got a hard programme coming up. They have been capable of winning away from home, so that's the thing. Rangers have been in strong form. Whether they can strengthen the squad, we'll wait and see, but they've got a good enough squad just now to still be challenging for the league. So, but Alan Stubbs certainly will want to see a bit of competition for places. Anthony Stokes has just come in, but he got a goal on Saturday. He's lacking match fitness, but that'll come, and I'm pretty sure that he'll be a good signing for them. I think he'll score a few goals. Yeah, OK, give us your thoughts then, because I know the build-up will continue all through the week with players talking about the League Cup semi-finals. I think, Ruffy, we're going to go and try and catch one of these semi-finals on the Sunday, because our programme's on the Saturday. St Johnstone against Hibs then. Can you see Alan Stubbs chasing a treble and getting into the final? I think it's going to be tough, but I think because of the players that are missing for St Johnstone, I think that will be a bit of a blow to him, and I think that Alan Stubbs can take Hibs to the final. Yeah.
It's an incredible amount of games that's coming up for Hibs. Obviously this game, then the Hearts game, and obviously the Rangers game. So he'll need the players to go into these games with a lot of confidence. They certainly have it just now, and certainly I think it'll be really tight, very, very tight. I think it could, I don't know, does it go extra time? Does it go straight to penalties or whatever? But I think it'll go, whatever the rules are, I think that's what will happen.
and undoubtedly, again, for stating the obvious, who's going to win it, Ruffy? Hibs.
Yes.
Well, wow. Can't believe I wasted 30 seconds until we got there for Hibs. And Ross County against Celtic. Listen, Ross County have pulled off a shock against Celtic in the Cup before. Can they do it again?
They have, but I just think that the Celtic, the form they've got, the players that are fighting for places in the team, I can't see past Celtic beating Ross County.
I can't see it either. I think they'll put up a good show, but I think Celtic got too much firepower.
Always like to talk about football north and south of the border. Just before we go, lads, yet again another sore one for Manchester United fans. They are slowly but surely wondering when the sack is going to come for Louis van Gaal. Let's be blunt about it.
Absolutely, Peter. But it's getting closer now because he seemed to have got over that little bit of before when there was talk about it a few weeks ago. Then they went on a little run. But losing at home like that, when you've had one shot on target in the whole 90 minutes, that's not what Manchester United look for in their team. And I think it's getting closer and closer. Yeah,
it's a strange thing. After Sir Mark Busby, they struggled 2 or 3 managers before they eventually got onto someone to get the win, Ruffy, and get silverware. I think it was Tommy Docherty. But, after Sir Alex, they've gone from David Moyes, didn't give him the time, and now Louis van Gaal. Do you think Josie's only moments away from getting it?
Yeah, I think he is. I think there's a lot of stars at that club. I think he could bring in a better quality player.
OK, thanks to Alan Rough and to Gordon Smith. Hopefully you can join us tomorrow again at 7 o'clock.